Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the annual Veterans Appreciation Breakfast. I ask you all to please join me if possible. Could you please stand so we can salute the colors? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. We're going to do a very, very short program because I'm sure everybody's hungry. As Blaine stated, they have a large conference in the building, and that's why the parking is so deep all the way out to the river. And there may be a few people coming in shortly, hopefully. I'd like to call on Kurt Litchfield, member of the VFW in Southbridge, post 6055, for a short prayer.
Thank you, Mike.
Uncover.
Proud of our nation, they answered her call, defending the freedom and safety of all. On land or on sea or jets high above, they went out of duty and honor and love. But however they served, Lord, wherever they went, please bless them and help them to know what it meant. And help us to thank them on Veterans Day, for we owe them far more than we ever could say. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. Okay, as promised, we're going to continue the program and make it extremely short. First up this morning, Town Manager of the Town of Southbridge, Mr. Ron St. Angelo.
Good morning, everyone, and as Mike said, we are going to keep it short and sweet. I'm here on behalf of the Town of Southbridge, and we're here today, frankly, as a group, to say thank you to the men and women that have served this great nation. You know, we look around today, and the world is a dangerous place, and we see all kinds of things that are going on that makes you wonder sometimes what's happening in Afghanistan and Syria. And we look at our nation, and we look at the peace that's happening here in our country. And, you know, we had the privilege of celebrating Veterans Day with all of you. And we look to our own leadership and the turmoils that happen in our government. And we see that at the end of the day, we come together as a group, somewhat as a family, to honor all the great sacrifices that men and women have made on behalf of our country. On behalf of our town of Southbridge, I know Jack Jovan, our chairman of town council, is here. And I want to say thank you on behalf of our town. I know the two town administrators from Southbridge and Charlotte are not here today. But I'd like to pass on my appreciation from both of them. Thank you for the great service you've given to this country. God bless you all.
Next to the microphone is Harrington Vice President of Behavioral Health, Greg Mirhej.
Hi, I'm Greg Mirhej, Vice President, Harrington Behavioral Health, and I want to start by thanking the Southbridge Hotel and Conference Center for their space and generosity again this year. Local representatives and senators in attendance, Senator Goby, Senator Fattman, Representative Durant, and Office of Representative McKenna. So thank you so much for being here. Dan Dono, who displayed the historical military uniforms in the back, and really appreciate that. It's a beautiful exhibit. And Southbridge Town Manager Ron St. Angelo. So thank you all. Harrington's honored to be able to host this breakfast again this year, and hope that we are supporting veterans and their families and their neighbors and the community through healthcare and behavioral health care throughout this region. I want to thank you all for attending. I have family members who are veterans, and I know it's important to honor these people who truly have underwritten and helped to define the freedom that we enjoy and the unrestricted potential that we enjoy as well. This month is Blaine reminded me that this month is the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. My grandfather actually was a colonel in World War I, and that was the Great War. That was the war to end all wars. And obviously, that isn't the case. 9 million combatants lost their lives, 7 million civilians lost their lives in that war, and I think everybody expected that this would put an end to it, and it hasn't. And so it may never be, but I think because of that, there's an indelible debt that we owe to veterans who have continued to put aside their own needs to assure the well-being of our nation. It's been remarked that freedom is never free, and it's to the people in this audience that we owe that. I want to just, again, thank you all for being here and appreciate your service.
Next, we'll hear from Senator Fattman.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be with you all. If we could just have everybody raise their hand who served our nation in the military, please. If you'd all give yourselves a round of applause. A few days ago, I had the honor of picking up my brother from Logan Airport. He flew back to surprise me. The day before the election, he's down in Fort Rucker, Alabama, learning to be a helicopter pilot for the United States Army, and we are very proud of him. And on the way home, we had the opportunity to reflect about our grandfather. His name was John Harris Gray. He fought in World War II. He was a medic in Okinawa, and we always grew up learning about this story where his platoon was ambushed, and he was shot in the leg, and he fell into the latrine. And it's probably something that saved his life, because all of his friends lost theirs. And we reflected upon how blessed we are as a family. My grandfather, Poppy, went on to have 7 children and 27 grandchildren. I'm one of them. My brother's another. And we just thought about the fate that so many other people realized on that day where they lost their lives, and sort of the continuous effect, a butterfly effect as they call it, that happens forthwith. You know, a lot of people don't have the blessings that I have. A loving mom, a loving dad, a brother who serves our country, another brother who is in the Air Force. And I recently watched this presentation about American exceptionalism. It went on to say, you know, there's been many great civilizations, many great nations throughout human history, but what is it that makes America, the United States, exceptional? And the answer was goodness, that America is goodness, and that goodness is manifest in its people. I think today, in this breakfast, and on Veterans Day that we celebrated on Sunday, is that manifestation of American goodness. People who are willing to put their lives on the line so that people like myself and others have generations of freedom and opportunity. If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we as a nation achieved so much, it was because of people like you here today who are willing to put everything on the line. And all we can say is thank you, and we'll never forget. Thank you very much.
Now we'll have Representative Durant.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to, before I, excuse me, before I start, I just want to send regrets from Representative McKenna's office. He's not able to make it here this morning, but he does have a good reason. He's on his honeymoon. He's over in Thailand, I think it is, for a few weeks. So I think we probably can give him a little bit of a pass. But I wanted to touch on a couple of things that Ryan said and Greg had mentioned as well. And forgive me if you've been to any of the others, if you were in Webster and done these ceremony the other day, you may have heard me give this talk about this already, so I apologize. But Greg had mentioned about his grandfather that had served in World War I. And I wear this ring, and a lot of people ask me what this ring is, because I'm not much of a ring wearer, and it's a little big, and It's just not my style to wear a ring, but I wear this ring because it's, my grandfather passed this on to me when he passed away. My grandfather was the youngest of 10 kids in his family, and his brother was the oldest of 10 kids, and by the way, both of their names were Joseph. He was the oldest of 10 kids. He went to World War I in 1917 and fought there, where he got this ring as his wedding ring. This was his wedding ring, and I have an old picture from his wedding picture from 1917, and you can, if you look hard enough, you can see the ring because he's got his hand in the right position. But he got this ring before he was gassed by the Germans, and he passed that down to my grandfather when he had passed away. He didn't die from the gas, and my grandfather passed it on to me when he passed away. And it's just this old ring that's been beat up, and it's paper thin, and it breaks on me every couple of years. It snaps because I try to pull it off my finger for some reason. And I bring it to the jeweler every time. He says to me, he says, I can cut that shank off and I can put a new shank on there and make it a new ring. And I always say, nope, just tack it up. Because it's got some value to it. And I tell you that because it's got a story behind it. I wear it to remind myself of my heritage and of my family and what they've gone through. But I tell you that because it's got a story behind it. And as veterans, I think it's so important that you tell your stories. Senator Fattman just mentioned the story about his grandfather who fell into the latrine. And most stories are sad, but some have a little bit of a twist to them that can make you chuckle. And we all have those stories. I remember some of the stories from my father, who was a Navy pilot in World War II. My grandfather, who I got this from, was too young. He fell right in that middle area where he didn't serve in the military. But those stories are important. It's important for future generations to understand the sacrifices, to understand what you all went through, and what it takes to keep this country free. You may have heard Governor Baker just recently signed a bill to bring back civics education to the classrooms, and that's important. It's important that these kids know and learn about our government, but it's also important that these children know and learn about your sacrifices and the things that you've gone through, so that hopefully we can avoid repeating them in the future. I want to say thank you very much for all you've done. It's an incredible sacrifice that you've made, one that I can't imagine. And so I just wanted to thank you for your service and say God bless you to all of you. Thank you.
Just before we close out the program, I do notice that we have some veterans post here this morning. I know that we have the Polish-American War veterans from Southbridge. We have the Veterans of Foreign Wars, post 6055 here this morning. We have the American Legion, post 31 from Southbridge. I'm not sure, do we have any post representative from Sturbridge or Charlton here this morning? And what post might that be? Charlton 391, American Legion, correct? Anyone else? Sir?
Marine Corps League 1094 here in Southbridge.
Marine Corps League here in Southbridge. And also, I'd like to thank the gentleman, and I'm sorry I don't have his name written down here. I'd like to thank the gentleman that put that display in the back of the room. That's very incredible. To see the condition that all those uniforms are in is amazing. It was a lot of work to put that together. So whomever you are, I want to thank you for doing that. There you go. And then I get beat up when I came in this morning because somebody seems to think that we never mention too much about female veterans. We do have female veterans in the room. So we are here to honor both female as well as male. We don't want to forget the ladies. All set, Blaine? Okay. Everybody have a great day. Oh, by the way, if you live in Southbridge and you heard the fire whistle on Sunday, our Southbridge Fire Department managed to blow the fire whistle off They tried to do it 21 times, but the air compressor ran a little short. So we did manage to get 11 rings out of the fire whistle at 11 a.m., which was, I think, a nice representation on behalf of the town to do that, to remember November 11th, the 100th anniversary of World War, the end of World War I. So, thank you, everybody. Enjoy your breakfast. Sorry to interrupt. One more thing I forgot to mention. We do have local cable access television here this morning doing video. And they've been doing video since we came in the room this morning, and they're also going to be here doing some individual interviews if you wish to do so. So just thought I'd mention that as well. Thanks.
Yeah.